Hi there, this is Mike from Pegasus News, and this is a first actually in a series of screencasts that we're doing to help illustrate and give some power user tips on how to use some of the neater features on the site, some things that perhaps only the most regular users have been aware of, and we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to take advantage of. And today we're going to talk about the geographic specific features of the site, or the things that we can deliver to you if in your user account you give us a little bit of address information. So you'll see here, this is a view of our home page today, and up here in the greeting area you'll see that it says Mike at home, and when I click this you can see that I can have multiple addresses here. These are addresses that I've registered, and we'll show that in a moment. Now this is only available to people who have registered for a user account on the site. Registration's free, it's easy, we don't ask a lot of extra questions, we only ask what we absolutely have to have in order to improve your experience on the site, as opposed to fishing for a lot of demographic information. You don't have to register to use the site, but this is one of many features that you can only get if we get a little registration information. So you see I've got two addresses chosen. I've got my work address, I've got my home address. It's really best if you give a full address, as I've done here for the Pegasus News offices, but then you can also, if you want, just put in as little as a zip code. I've done that here for my home address, although registering address is something that's only visible to you when you're logged in. Because I'm showing this off on a screencast here, I made my address just my zip code so as not to show it on the screencast, but your address isn't going to be visible to anybody but you, so perfectly safe for you to put that in. Now the reason you might want to do that is that it's going to change your experience in a number of really key areas on the site. Starting here on the home page, you see this box that says your neighborhood. So every day that's going to pull in stories, the most recent stories that are happening right around your home, and events that are happening today really close to you. So there's some other things that we have that'll help you find things that meet your interests, but a lot of times you're looking for what can I do that's nearby, and this is a good way to do that. If you click on this link here, it's going to take you to another page that is your neighborhood. And it's a little sparse because it's a Sunday as I'm recording this, and this is on the work address, but you can see stories that are happening nearby. Basically the Google map here centers on the address you've given us. You see stories that are happening nearby, you can see events that are happening nearby, and you can see if you see a wing like this Pegasus wing, that means that's an event that we've marked as a Pegasus pick, and you can always click through and get all the extra information we always provide on events or the full story. You can see sort of a fuller list of nearby events over here. As you scroll down, you'll see the stories in your neighborhood, the stories near your neighborhood, and you can also go down and see we covered a little more than 100 neighborhoods and suburbs in the DFW area. So if you want to go look at another one, you certainly can. I can change. This is currently my work view. If I want to change to my home view, I get a different view, which I've loaded in another tab for the purposes of the speed of the screencast here. So you can see this is the neighborhood view for me at home, which is different geography, but again, you've got stories and events happening around you. Great way to figure out something to do tonight at the last minute. Also, you'll see that we have nearby football scores and basketball scores for the schools nearest you, which are the ones that we think you're going to be most likely to be interested in. There's other ways to customize what scores you receive, but that is that's an obvious one there on the neighborhood pages. Another way that this affects your experience on the site is an event search. We have over 3,000 events a week on the site most weeks, and when you go to the event search, you'll see that when you're logged in with an address, it starts centered on your neighborhood, your area, and so while you pick dates and categories, and we're going to delve into that on a later screencast, you can certainly zoom wider if you're interested in, say, seeing a rock concert regardless of where it is in town. But if you're really looking for something to do in your neighborhood, you can zoom in as close as you want, and that's going to affect the results that you get when you do a search for events. Another way it affects is on movie schedules. On our movie page, we show what's new in theaters, and we go ahead and, as a favor, drop your zip code into the theater and showtime search so that you'll know that you're getting the closest theaters. If I change my address to my work address, you will see This is why we did the tabs in the screencast. I'm on a Wi-Fi connection. But what you're going to see is that the zip code here has changed to my work zip code, and so if I'm looking for a movie from work, that will help me find it. It affects a lot of the mapping on the site. For instance, our garage sale map, again, this is kind of slow because it's a Sunday and a holiday weekend, but you'll see when I go to our map of garage sales, it starts with the area closest to me. I've got a garage sale over here in Garland because I live kind of on the Dallas and Garland border. And so any week, you can zoom in, zoom out, but it helps you start right with what's around you, which is often going to be what's most important to you. Now, suppose I want to add an address. I've got my home address and my work address, but I want to be able to look for things, say events that are close to where my wife works if she doesn't work in my office. So I can very easily come into my profile, add an address. I'm just going to put in, for the sake of this, a zip code that's going to be like far north Dallas. And so now I can change. No, I didn't give it a name. See? You learn something while you're doing the screencast. So we're going to say wife, save address, and now I can change to the wife address, and now my neighborhood page, for instance, is going to be entirely different again because I'm looking at a different part of town. So those are the basic neighborhood-specific features on Pegasus News. All you have to do is put in an address or a little bit of information to get those automated, and every time you come to the site every day, it'll be totally different for you. So I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, please post them in the comments, and we'll address them, and look forward to our next and hopefully a little smoother screencast coming up here in the next day or so. Thanks.